Slight said he's heaven sent. Third person omnipotent. Great words, no difference. I don't rap, I make art. Bird need a race car. This ain't for the faint heart. Above clouds like Game Star. That's in my blood. That's in my blood.
Welcome back to the SLD podcast. This is episode number 36. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm here at 100 subs on YouTube. I'm doing a prize giveaway, so go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Yeah, we're in here. It's kind of gloomy and rainy on this Easter. I have a special guest with me today, Jerome, my girlfriend's dad. He's here. You want to say hello to everyone?
Hello,
on the
everyone.
mic?
Happy Easter to those who celebrate Easter.
Happy Easter. It's here. It's very strange. It's a weird Easter. There, I don't know if any churches are having Easter service in Murfreesboro.
Brick and mortar services, I don't think so, but I believe there are some virtual churches.
Yeah, like live streams.
Celebrations going on in different venues.
Has anything, so like I said to the viewers, this is my girlfriend's father. He's a different demographic than us. He's older than us, so he has a different perspective on just life and all this craziness and stuff that's going on right now. So this is going to be special because all the guests that I've had on here have been people my age, and people I know, like they're working at restaurants and stuff. Like one friend, he works at Chewy's and he got furloughed and he's not making any money right now. So just kind of I want to segue you into like your thoughts on like what's going on. How has it been like affecting you personally?
Well, other than restaurants, what I do is an independent contractor, and I was working down in Florida, of course. I came back to Tennessee before they shut down the borders. Luckily, that whole area of Pensacola, which is Panama City, is under quarantine and shut down just like everywhere else. For me, it's not hard for me to, let's say, isolate or anything like that because I pretty much keep to myself. But hopefully this doesn't become the social norm, and I wouldn't want people to think they would, from now on, you have to stay away from people and just isolate yourself because really I don't think they know where exactly how this stuff is being transmitted.
Yeah, they say airborne. Contracted. Oh, you mean like the disease? You mean the disease?
The corona.
Yeah, they say airborne.
COVID-19, whichever one. They say it's several different.
There's a lot of like conflicting stories, sort of. I mean, you hear it's airborne, but at the same time, though, you'll hear that it survives on a surface for 2 weeks. So, that's kind of contradicting. I mean, is that?
Well, before they shut it down and isolated, people was touching and rubbing and passing through doors, yeah. Car door, bedroom door,
yeah.
Bathroom door, restaurant door, work door.
Shaking random people's hands.
Fist bumps, high fives, hugs in some cases.
Think about those like Italians whenever they they do like the double kiss, like the mwah, mwah on both sides of the cheek, like that type of stuff.
Yeah. I guess.
Like...
Well, some time ago, like when I was maybe your age, it wasn't a whole bunch of PDA, I think they call it, public
display of affection.
Display of affection, because pretty much there was a lot going on then, polio and measles and chicken pox, and sadly to say, is viruses floating around everywhere.
Yeah.
And some of the things I read about the corona is 1,500 different coronaviruses that they were working on in that bio lab.
1,500.
And that's 1,500 different coronas. But I mean, it's hard to believe all the information you hear on social media, YouTube, or wherever else. But whatever you hear, you should use all discernment about it. Of course, you're going to wash your hands, and of course, you're going to maybe put a mask on your face, and some of the things that popped to my mind is other things make it worse, or is other things going on that make it seem like they're having flu-like symptoms, or runny nose, or headaches, or whining in your ear like tetanus or whatever, or is that one of the G's that's running, or I'm sorry, G, because you have to use a code word you can't say. It's like so fried ghee is about to be launched, and I believe something like that will be quite radiant, so to speak.
It is radiation. I mean, look at us right now in this room. We got a computer. I got a cell phone. You got a cell phone. I got a TV on for no reason. Like it's definitely emitting some kind of wavelength or like
RF frequency.
Like something, some kind of frequency, and
that radiates radiation.
Emanates
a radiation. The average household has smart meter, Wi-Fi modem, cable box, and however many adults, most of them all have phones.
Yeah.
And that's just one household. Now you look up the street and then you count the households, and that to me makes it like a web, a grid, or something, so to speak. So now they launch fried ghee, and they still got 2, 3, and 4 running at the same time, simultaneously. That seems like a lot of RF frequency. Bouncing around. Let alone all the other stuff that's in the air, like corona and the other things from the flu season, and the pollen. It's spring now, so yeah, Austin, it's something to watch.
So I saw an interesting post. All right, so this is kind of because like you were saying, you wanted, whenever you hear or see something new, you hear like a claim or something, a piece of information, you want to take it with a grain of salt. So what you were talking about said if 100. All right, so this is what the post says. If 184 countries have corona and only 5 countries have those towers, why would you think that would be causing coronavirus?
Well,
so 5 countries have the towers now, and 184 countries confirmed to have COVID-19. How does that correlate?
Well, honestly, I don't know how that correlates, and I can't say that the launch of that technology causes corona, because corona is actually a virus, all by itself. But would that agitate the high frequency and microwave and radiation agitate the effects of corona, or have a whole bunch of symptoms on its own? So that's something to ponder.
Yeah,
I've heard on different forums that same conversation is the only way I could even mention any of it. But we have to say, first time in history, anyone in your generation or mine, for that matter, seeing the globe shut down to this capacity to where the other things that's on the shelf are in play, like the economy and homelessness and hungriness and a whole bunch of other things. Everything that goes along with it. Yeah, everything's amplified, magnified, and everything but simplified, basically. We were not ready, and it's plain to see, easy to see that, of course, we get through this, we should be more prepared for when it happens again, because it's not a matter if, because things like this happens periodically along the way.
Yeah, it's it's SARS 2. That's what they're calling this. Another nickname for this is SARS 2. That's what this is. It's another.
Yeah, SARS is part of the COVID-19.
Yeah,
SARS is in there, and all the other viruses. It's a couple different viruses mixed up that made COVID-19, from the information I'm using discernment about. I'm no scientist, I'm no specialist, but some things it only takes common sense.
Right.
Like at some period, when viruses was going around, they was urging people to take quinine water.
What is that?
Well, it's like tonic water. It's
Okay.
like a lemony. It has I forget what the quinine is made from, but it's from a nut seed or something like that. But that wards off viruses like scurvy and malaria.
Mm.
And those times, I think it was Vietnam War where they kept quinine water. And if you really look up quinine water, it's like hydrochloride.
Oh, okay.
Hydrochloride and quinine. So it almost sounds like
Hydroxychloroquine.
hydroxychloroquine. Which
Hydroxychloroquine.
basically
Yeah.
is the one of the makeups of
Did you-
quinine water.
Did you hear about that couple in Florida or whatever? They took. All right, so all right, so the whatever hydrochloroquine is like the name of that the drug or whatever that they're testing. There's like a hydrochlora something. It's like another chemical that's used to clean fish tanks.
Yeah.
This couple in Florida took it and they died.
Well,
and-
I would imagine so.
And what's crazy is the media was trying to blame it on Trump for him because he was like saying, hey, this could be a possibility. The media was trying to say that he told, like, do you see what I'm saying? They were like, oh, well, this is his fault because these people took koi fish pond cleaner or whatever, fish tank cleaner.
As far as I can
I mean,
see,
that's-
since the man was inaugurated, they was against, or I should say, has been the bane of anything and everything possible. He was to blame for. And him being the commander-in-chief, I guess the commander-in-chief gets blamed.
Yeah.
But at some point, maybe they should let the person that was the guy put in there have a chance to shine. But
Yeah.
maybe that's the whole agenda, for him not to shine.
For him not
I
to.
think someone else was expected to be there instead of him. So that changed the whole dynamic of a lot of things.
It's just super like weird and interesting. They're doing whatever they can to smear him, and he didn't say, "All right, people, if go take hydrochloroquine right now, everybody." He said, "All right." He was trying to give the people hope
Yeah.
by saying, "Hey guys, we have this thing that could work. We don't know. We're gonna test it out.
Pharmaceutical grade, though, not
Not
food grade,
not fish cleaner,
not
fish bowl cleaner. Like, come on, man. Like, that's so stupid." It was like, it was like hydrochlora something else, like a different chemical name, but like it had like the word in it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the same chemical, but like something on like the molecular level was like a little bit different, which made it poisonous. It made it poison.
Well, it was compounded to be a cleaner
Yeah, and then
and not food grade.
not something for a human to ingest.
Exactly.
So the hydrochloroquine was tested for back in this. It's not a new drug, right?
It's
didn't
been out for hundreds of years.
They tried to
for
make-
for some time, not to put a number on it because I really don't
Yeah.
know. It's
Didn't
been
they
out.
try and was it malaria or cholera that they were trying to use that as a cure for? It was
Malaria.
Was it malaria
That
or
was one, which is the same thing as I said, the quinine water. It's
Yeah.
the same. It's just a lighter, I guess, the lightest dose because they use quinine water. I would say back in the day, and a good bartender uses that, and that was one of the staples in any fancy bar, like almost like grenadine or any one of the other mixers.
yeah?
Quinine water or that particular substance was used in one of the drinks. I forget which one. I don't know if it was a Manhattan or something like that. But again, they also used quinine tablets. They added to the water, dropped the tablet. The soldiers used to drop the tablets in the water. But I would like to say this to everyone out there that might listen to this. Use discernment on everything. Of course, you're going to do the hygiene thing. and keep your head on the swivel, and try not to follow every word and jump to where you're panicking. And,
don't panic.
And,
it's never good.
Having thoughts you shouldn't be having, and don't let any of this frustrate you. And for me, God is in control. I mean,
that's exactly how I've been
God
feeling.
is in control.
I've been feeling the same way. I've been trying to have those same thoughts, because I mean, I don't feel like I am necessarily in control. You're not. To a very small degree, like you woke up and you put on that shirt and those pants, you picked out your clothes, but ultimately we're not in control. I mean,
I actually wanted to wear something else.
I mean, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it was raining, so
to a small degree we have some free will, but like when it comes to this, like we didn't choose to be a I mean, Mylena hasn't been working for a whole month, almost a month now, you know, like that's not in her power.
Has to be
like,
going stir crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Sadly to say, in cases like this, it helps you realize that, you know, bring it back home. Be close to your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Spend time with yourself.
Yeah.
Grab a book. Try that new workout that you just been looking at somebody else do on Instagram or something.
Definitely
do it yourself. Yeah, like I said, write a book.
I encourage people my age to
have a
read.
whole bunch of online classes though right now.
Actually, it's funny you say that. I can't remember where I saw it, but Harvard just released 60 free classes online
to anybody,
free on their harvard.com. You gotta like go to like harvard.com/something, but like they released 60 free courses.
Now all they need is a stimulus check so they can keep the internet on.
Exactly. Look at for real. And like, isn't that crazy? You can go get part of a Harvard education for free. Like they'll have the lectures and the PowerPoints and like the notes and stuff like on there. I thought about going and just like kind of checking it out.
And now that we're on that subject, I believe they was on one of the forums they was talking about student loan forgiveness.
They've been needing to do that. It's unreasonable.
Well, right now, for sure.
It's unreasonable, and
if you can get through on the phone.
Yeah, true. Well, I actually in January. Yeah, right now the internet is, well, if you go on YouTube right now, they're actually starting it right now. They're starting to like shadow ban's not a good word for it, but they're starting to tone us down, because when you go to YouTube right now, the default resolution is 480p. You have to change it to 1080p right now. Like if you go
they notice the influx of people down there. A lot of people are home right now.
Yes,
and that could even cause a whole strain on. So look at the propensity of just this whole thing.
It's a very complex issue, but what is your thought on like what can the normal common folk actually do to help? Stay out of the way?
Yes.
Stay
out of the way.
I feel like people are trying
Bring
to do
it home, keep it home.
Yeah.
Do what they say. Yeah, do what they say.
Yeah,
and it's better for you anyway. I mean, don't you think? I mean, if you have a loved one, then you're in with the loved one, or whoever you're confined with, and not worry about what's going on the street. They can't evict you from your home. They can't foreclose on your mortgage. So they say, if you can get through the internet, sure, it's all going to come out on the other side of all this.
But for now,
I don't think they can turn your lights off or your water. I mean, but for the most part, man, maybe it's time for everybody to do something they haven't did in a while. Like maybe ask for some forgiveness, repent.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like one of those movies where nature's just gonna start fighting back because we've been being so cruel.
I brought up that actually, so you know how in nature the grass grows, the bugs eat it, the birds eat the bugs, so on and so forth. What if this is nature's way of controlling the grass, quote unquote? We're the grass.
Well, That's interesting you put it that way, because I can add to that, and I guess say all those things that you mentioned, they do exactly what God created them to do. The things you mentioned, the grass,
Yeah,
the
so
bugs, the ants, all those things, they do it. They prostrate to God exactly how God created them to.
mhm.
The cat chases the mouse, the dog chases the cat,
Yeah.
and all those other things. And the conscious thinker, us, the one that knows what free will is, pretty much don't follow those golden rules, I guess you can say. Those simple things.
I just thought
Do what we was created to do.
I just thought that was a really interesting analogy. It's like, and it's so weird to even think, but like, it's like nature's way of saying, you guys are fucking me up. I gotta like take some of you guys out. I mean, like, it sounds so cruel and like morbid, but there's really no other way to put it. At the end of the day, it's survival of the fittest out here. It's, it's true. It's Darwinism. Like, we're only like the strong will survive.
Well, yeah, the righteous shall survive. That's how I would say it. Strong is one thing, but righteous.
What do you mean? Explain what you mean by righteous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you righteous meaning you're kind. First to yourself, then to your loved ones, then to everybody else. You have to be kind, despite what they might do. That's righteous. You're doing the righteous thing. I didn't want to say it doesn't have to be on the spiritual level. Just as a person, a human to human.
Yeah.
You're righteous. Not going to look at the person with hate and all that anguish, and then it leads to bitterness and resentment and all those things. So yeah.
You sure you get a little closer?
Some things happen to where
yeah, there you go.
It might make you humble yourself. Like in this case, this is very humbling, if you ask me.
Because just 2 months ago, we were for example, you were going down to Florida and working. You can't anymore. I mean, I'm sure you could, but that's not reasonable.
No, that isn't reasonable. So that's where I have to draw the line. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I have essential workers papers where I can go and cross 2 borders from Tennessee to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But why would I want to do that and put myself
at risk?
And I'll be isolated there on a job site, opposed to being isolated at my home where my
family,
my dog is, and my family is. Your life.
So, I mean,
where they may need me. I'd rather be here than isolated there where I didn't know anyone but that house.
Right.
And my tools.
And your coworkers.
And one coworker at this point. He didn't want to come with me. I invited the guy because he's all the way from an island called St. Kitts, somewhere near sandwiched in between Puerto Rico and St. Thomas and St. Martin, somewhere around there.
Isn't that crazy how many islands are in the Caribbean down there? There's so many.
And a lot of them are beautiful.
That's actually where, this is what they say. That's actually where Columbus
first
landed. What how do you put it? Arrived first. That's where he arrived.
It wasn't
first.
Plymouth. No, that was Mayflower. So
that was
something else.
Yeah, that was like a couple hundred years after. He was in, like, they say 1492 or whatever.
That when he first saw, before he went all the way back and reported to them, hey,
I found India.
He didn't know what he found.
Yeah,
but it was a civilization there.
Yeah,
and it was gold and pyramids and people. He saw it.
I've always been all right. So recently, have you seen that movie National Treasure? Have you heard of that?
Oh,
Nicolas
Cage.
So when I was younger, I don't know what it was. I'm a big history person. Like, I love American history, and I just, like, me and Mylena rewatched it. Like, we watched it the other day, and it got me really. It really kind of sparked my kind of like interest in American history again. And, like I'd been wanting to get back into that, like our founding fathers and stuff.
Yeah, very very interesting back then. There was a lot that went on, especially with the secret passageways and
Yeah, like
just the way all those treasures in that movie, all those treasures,
which it
had
could
secret.
It may or may not be
messages and
true,
codes.
but the codes thing definitely
More or less, it is because they used a lot of alchemy
very true.
back then. They used a lot of alchemy in the way they did things. Just the printing of money was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, when it was backed by gold, it was actually it was originally backed by silver.
So
It was silver backed.
was silver more precious than gold at one point?
that's what they openly said the money was backed with. And then I think, however they say gold back is just that they had at that time a stockpile of gold, which is somewhere. I don't know where though. That's a whole nother subject in itself. But maybe on the other side of all this, we'll go back to the gold standard. Who knows? I see it as a global reset myself, somewhat symbolically or even realistically. If not, it should be a reset for every individual to reset themselves and take a different perspective on how they view life these days. And then the control that we don't have, being that we mentioned one of those things, and we also mentioned how we also don't do the righteous thing. So if we, add all those things up, bring it all back home, and any listener that hears this, man, this should be a reset for everyone on the other side of this. And then, of course, once you reset, things start over, and it's going to get to the point where it's like this again. Hopefully, at that time, we'll all be more prepared for that next thing, whatever that next thing may be. For me, it makes me want to be more of a prepper. Because I've been for years. I've been kind of like I wouldn't say a super prepper, but I might save a can or two.
Yeah.
In case you can't just go to the store and there's nothing there. I always have toilet paper. I didn't have to rush out to the store to get toilet paper. I even had enough to share.
Yes, yes, he did. Thankfully.
But some people don't think that way. Some people, when they go grocery shopping, they want to see how fast they can eat it all up. And then most of the time they do all that before they able to get more.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell everyone to conserve. Look at that hand sanitizer that you don't have right now.
Thankfully,
all that little simple stuff, the simplest thing.
Yeah. Thankfully, right before probably. I mean, it was over a month ago. I bought a whole bunch of cleaning stuff because I got sick, and then Mylena got sick, and then I was like, nah. This was like really before everyone. This was like a couple weeks before the panic, like shit was really starting to get crazy here. That could have been.
How you know? We were late on getting the information.
That's what I was thinking, man.
I'm just saying.
I was thinking.
Am I safe? Where's my mask, officer? You ain't tell me all that.
I'm okay,
I'm
man.
Joking, everybody.
I take my vitamins.
I'm joking, everybody. I'm joking, but. From far as some of the stuff you hear, they say we got the news late, and if he said, well, what he just said a couple of weeks after they did announce it, that might have been that time period where we didn't know. But just know this, coronavirus, those words been on that Lysol can since I was a kid, and I'm talking about I read a lot, and I think I was 8, 9 years old, and I'll tell my age right now, I'm 57. So you're talking about, 48 years ago. I remember that can. But that's when the can had a funny green cap, and the metal part of the can
you said
was
Lysol?
White, light green, and dark green. The original Lysol.
Lysol.
Yeah,
okay.
It has a 99.99999.
Yeah.
And coronavirus is on there as one of the things it killed. I mean, it's in bold print, too, on that can as well, like it is now. But, just that easy, that says a lot also. How could they put something that kills corona in that can, but they can't come up with a safe and effective vaccine? Or is all this whole thing leading you to the vaccine for some reason? That's a whole nother topic in itself. that vaccine, or what seems to me is leading you to a vaccine, and hopefully that vaccine isn't forced upon people, because some people are not going to want that vaccine.
I was going to ask.
Like me.
I was going to ask you, if they make this like readily available, are you going to like go get it?
I'm not.
Do you recommend?
I would have to,
I don't think it's necessary.
Well, you know me a little bit. So I would treat that as if it was however many people about to cross a minefield. Would I want to be the first one to cross? No, I want to be all the way in the back.
Yeah.
Sorry, fellas. Y'all go right ahead. I'll be right there. I'm going to tie my shoe. I'll catch up to you. I mean, because when they launched that, I mean, surely it's formulated a little better than that anyway. It wouldn't even be a immediate or an abrupt defect in the vaccine. The defect would only come out later, as all the stuff is designed to.
Have you
after it's already administered? But
have you ever had a vaccine? Did you ever take like a flu shot or anything?
Flu shot, vaccines. I had all my shots.
Yeah,
now. Don't
all
try
right.
to get me in trouble. I'm gonna lie.
No.
But yeah.
The reason I'm asking is because I was gonna ask, what do we actually
since they've been offering the flu shot?
Yeah.
On the jobs, come get the flu shot.
I never
and
had
all
a flu
that.
shot.
I've never had a flu shot.
My grandma got a flu shot like 2 years ago. Got the flu right after.
Well,
and my grandma don't need to be getting the flu.
I'm gonna trust God on that.
Yeah,
saying that if I'm immune or not immune to something, and I get sick, yes, I'm gonna try to remedy myself. But to inject the actual thing inside me, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to depend on that to build my immune. I want my own immune system to build its own on its own through nourishment and vitamins and exercise,
diet,
and you know what? Something I do without ceasing, prayer. I pray without ceasing, and that's just the spiritual side of me.
I feel like people, I don't know, I don't even want to say just my generation, but earthlings of today, I feel like they're getting, like, it's almost like not cool to be spiritual. And even though, like, this like woke, quote unquote woke culture, people want to be so PC, politically correct, and like so it's not equal, but like they want to like be so considerate of everyone and like be so neutral, but you're not even being woke isn't even woke. Do you know what I'm saying?
Being woke is kind of still following a culture, as you said.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
For me, there's only one culture I can follow, and that's me. Mm-hmm. I know I'm good to people. I know I'm neighborly. I know I'm righteous. Back to that.
Your morals, yeah.
My morals cover my moral compasses. I know what's right and know what's wrong. I'm not here to hurt nobody. I am here to be left alone, especially if I'm not messing with you. Just leave me alone. And let me go to work and feed my family and call it a day. And that's, what I consider righteous. All that other stuff, worrying about, I read a whole lot on even all that culture and a whole bunch of other things that
it's contradictory.
Religious too, and then I'm talking about all the denominations and all the sects and I mean, all the sects of religion, and that's not an X, that's a SECT, and all that. I mean, not all of them, but I mean, I read, I pay attention. So, but I know what feels good and what feels right to me, and I know. I mean, it's easy.
Yeah,
it's easy. It's easier if you don't follow everybody else's idea of what. I mean, you're not out there defaming anyone. You're not out there causing harm to anyone. That's what it should be to me. But so again, because it can't be off topic, because they're all on topic, and they all come back to the same thing.
Yeah.
What's happening right now? I would like to hear more of a solution other than masks and ventilators and how many hospitals that was built, opposed to, all those numbers, because those numbers could be skewed either higher or lower. They could be whatever they say they are, just to give you something to hear. But so far, until I see things opening up, I don't think they have a solution. But I did hear today that was that the Prime Minister over there, Boris Johnson, was released from the hospital.
Oh,
so
dude, that would have been crazy.
I seen a little video of him, and he looks like he just been up forever, or just came back from a wild party.
He always looked like that.
Yeah, he looks washed out, and yes, he does always kind of have
his
that
hair's
kinda
always like messy.
look like that, and yeah, he's like he's just been shuffled.
If he would,
but thank goodness he's okay, because I wish everybody well. And
sure.
It's just, I mean, that's globally. Of course, in the United States, but globally, regardless if it started over there or over here, let's not argue about where it started. Just let's lock it down, because all that rhetoric about where it started, yeah, that's important. But let's find out where it is so we can isolate it.
Yeah, it's important.
We have the technology, I believe, to isolate it, because if it's either natural or man-made, they can't even decide which one.
Mm-hmm.
They can't decide if it was a natural cause, or if it was one of those viruses that they mixed a little more salt and pepper in there, reintroducing it, and then all of a sudden, of course, they're going to say it accidentally got out. But in those cases, the protocols for safety is impossible to accidentally get out.
Yeah.
Unless it dropped on the shoe, or they got covering. But I seen some video of them people in some of them labs. They barely have some things on in some cases, ventilators or whatever. Just, and they skin exposed. I know if it was me, I wouldn't have not 1 centimeter of skin exposed if I worked in one of them labs. Not an ear.
Nothing.
Not a nothing. In fact, I would want it inside one of those plexiglass things where you use them rubber arms.
You put the arms.
And let the robot do that via camera.
Yeah.
And have that whole room sealed. So when they have people using those little syringes and sucking the stuff up and putting in different stuff, I know they have automated tools that they can use. And then the protocol should have something in place in case something dropped, spilled, broke, exploded. Automatically, boom, it sprays it and kills it. Otherwise, they shouldn't be messing with it.
Yeah.
If that's the case, why are y'all messing around with bioweapons anyway? Why are y'all trying to find out if y'all can use a virus and put it wherever?
Yeah.
In the air, in the water, on somebody's skin, or carry it on the boot. I mean, because it's a lot of it's a lot of products and stuff made in all different type places. See, that's the scary part for me. And I'm not saying anybody do anything deliberate, but anybody that knows how shipping works can intercept and taint things that's being imported and exported. And that's the scary part for me. So I can't say you, but me.
Yeah.
And this is my mental thing. I'll be afraid, as I am already anyway, on products and what's in the products and if it's even worth eating at all. But now you got things being made all around the world, from things you eat to things you might sit on, or a car, or a part in a car. These things, I mean, now are they going to sanitize everything that's imported and exported? Because, hey, it's going to make me want to.
I mean, yeah.
I'm just saying.
My job, we don't.
I don't know where that came from. I didn't wash it down. I wasn't the one that washed it down. So, I mean, but is that mental? Do I need to see a psychiatrist about this?
No, I understand.
I mean,
totally
it's just what makes me think. That's how I think.
I know in my job, we get some shipments from India.
Yeah.
And I know now, I mean, yeah, we're extra clean now. And like they did, kind of crack down every day. They're like, make sure you wash your hands.
And that thing, I'm not talking about a person or a group of people. I'm not talking about on the racist side. Like they are somebody out there right now trying to push that narrative. That's some hoo-ha right there. They're just saying if it was in China, hey, lock it down in China. If it was over here, they would be saying the same thing. Yeah. Lock it down over here. If it was wherever it was. So I don't like hearing that. Well, we are being racist, but to hear, I think it's a bit of a story. I don't read all the way into them because I don't want to read all the way into some of these stories that's popping around. But I did hear of like a group of people that was evicted from their rental properties. They were renting in China, and they was like evicted and put out on the street because they came from a country in Africa or something. That's kind of harsh. I mean, right now, I hope they don't do that to Asian people here because they're old man and start looking at. See, that's what I don't like from things like that and some of the narratives or how they push some of the narratives in the media or on social media or wherever it is. Because once that social media, whatever you listen to most, that's what you're going to believe. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if they pushing the agenda where they don't like this, and you keep hearing that same channel, and that's your favorite channel, and they whatever agenda they pushing, that's the side you're going with. If it's Fox, it seems like they like Trump, and then everybody else don't. So, that's all I'm saying. I don't let anything control me because I'm a free thinker myself. I don't let not somebody else's narrative control the common denominator and what my decision is going to be for me.
Yeah.
How is it going to affect my life? I know I want my life to live on so I can treat people nice. That's where I live, so I can treat myself nice and treat people nice too, and not catch a virus of any kind. But I think everybody should look into that 5G. I'm just saying that's something we want, even if it's not tied to any connection to.
It might not even be connected to this, but in the future.
But it does give you flu-like symptoms. That I know scientifically. I used to work for a place where they just that 5G it'll give you the runny nose, a sore throat, and a headache. So will 4G though.
Yeah.
And 3, you just don't feel it as much. But now 5 is it's like the ultimate. So if you need that movie streamed in 1 second, y'all go ahead. I know one thing. At night, I'm turning off my phones and my. I saw on the internet a cover for the smart meter that covers the 5G radiation that emits from your smart meter, and you can find it on Amazon.
What's it made of?
I forgot the name of the material. But they have material. They have little units that you can put in your pocket, the size of maybe a cell phone. And it'll shield you from 5G. They're about $600 though.
I mean,
and they got a bigger unit that you can shield your whole house.
Oh wow!
And they also maybe I shouldn't say this live because they might block it and then it'll get to the big wigs and they'll take it off the market. But it's also paint that you can get. So I have an idea, and if I tell y'all will be millionaires. So I'm gonna keep it to myself for now. Because I have a thought, and that there is going to be a problem soon.
Okay. So, I guess we'll get to this last little bit. Just in closing, we can talk about just how, I guess the question I want to ask you is, all right, we're in the middle of this. We're not even at the peak. We're still in the middle of this. We don't really know when it's going to end, but give me your thoughts on a solution to this. If you think we'll reach a solution, when?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel that's a pretty
this problem right now. Like, just what are your thoughts on like the end game? When is it going to end? How?
Ooh, you said solution, end game?
Yeah, like
I feel honored that you even asked me that.
I mean, just give me your thoughts on that.
Make me feel like that. What's that doctor right now? Falsey.
Oh, Falsey, yeah.
Falsey, yeah.
Yeah.
It's close, Falsey.
Yeah. Falsely.
No pun intended. No pun intended. But solution, I don't have one. I wash your hands, keep your distance for now. I mean, because they really don't know. Myself, I'm gonna do the vitamin C, D, and I noticed all the quinine water is going off the shelves, so I'm gonna continue to try to find some
I
of
hadn't
that,
heard anything
along
about
with
that.
some zinc. Yeah, that's good. But what I did was refresh what I take as a vitamin and trying to figure out what my deficiencies might be. And I've been exercising, and like I said, if you do all that for yourself, and then maybe the people that you're quarantined with do that too, and then that's a new reset. If you ask me, now you want to be healthier because you don't know what's around this next corner.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying. So I know one thing: I wasn't totally prepared, but hopefully.
You weren't.
Hopefully, if
bone
it happens
dry.
again, or when it happens again, I'll be more prepared on the protective side, because I think these viruses are just getting more extreme each time a new one is introduced. And I use that term loosely. I don't mean to say that they actually introduced it, but they say they got out of a lab possibly. So that's the introduction to me.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't come naturally. That's not natural. That means it's something man-made and it got out.
It was
So
crafted.
it introduced to the public, because they shouldn't have been messing with nothing like that, if you ask me. No, man, no government should have any access. That's almost like nuclear weapons. They want them to take all the nuclear weapons, get rid of all that bioweapons too. That's all I'm saying, because we on Earth want to live, unless some other group of people got a different agenda, and what they might think it's too crowded or whatever. But as a closing note, solution is just that.
Solution, or what do you think life's gonna be like after? At the end.
Well, life after that, when you shut down the globe, being that I never experienced anything like this myself, I think when you turn off, or not off, because they'll never be able to turn off the globe, but they can shut down their part of it, which is the government, and that's who actually controls it. They shut things down, the movement, which basically they shut off the currency. Mm-hmm. And currency meaning the money, and the currency is also the energy of the people. Yeah. That movement. They shut the currency. That's what I mean. The energy. They shut it down. So to this degree, I know it's possible, but to start something back up to this capacity will be something to see, because it won't be as easy as it shut down. So it'll be harder to restart than it was to shut down, because we're talking about a lot of venues, and that's they might as well go ahead and do the old go back currency, and that's global, our money and everybody else's currencies, and they might as well do what I think they started anyway, which was with the stimulus. They started what I heard something called the Nazara. But who am I? I don't know. I digress. With that, it's an honor to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
No problem. I would love to have you back on again. For those of you who made it all the way to the end of this, I appreciate you. I really hope you enjoyed this conversation I had with someone who's wiser than me and has a different take on life, has a different perspective. Please, like he said, just do what they say. Stay home. Don't panic. Panicking, that is the worst. That's the last thing you need to be doing. You don't need to be panicking. You need to stay calm more than anything. Because there's nothing to panic about unless you're, So this was episode 36. Thank you guys for tuning in. At Slightlee Daily on all social media platforms.